Welcome back to today's episode. We're so excited because we're going to be chatting all things books. And this is a fun topic for us because Kelly and I are just both really huge readers, and books have definitely built us when it comes to running a business, but also like we love to read a little smut and have fun because it can't all be work all the time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so what Brooke and I love to do is read one smut with one professional development because, there's duality in that as well. And really, right, the well-rounded brains that we have need to be continuously going about something. So in our downtime, which we really are trying to get better at having downtime, as crazy, multi-passionate entrepreneurs, reading is one thing that we love to do. And so that's something fun that we're able to bond about, even if it's not business related. And that's helpful for our brains too.
It's low-key way more fun when it's not business related. Cool. So anywho, thank you for joining us in today's episode, and we're going to dive right in.
And if you're a book lover, let us know. Like, I want to know what you're reading. I want to hear if you've read the same thing we do. Like, I want to hear all of the things. So send us all the DMs at Find Your Fuse or Kelly Lanes or Brooke Carroll Smith, and we will gladly talk about books for endless hours with you.
Enthusiastically.
Welcome to Find Your Fuse, the podcast and community for women who know they're meant for more.
We're your hosts, Brooke and Kelly, two founders, two entrepreneurs, and two best friends who are figuring it out just like you. Because if you have found that success is anything but a straight line, then you're in the right place.
Join us as we go through all things business and all things real life.
We're going to bring you along for the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
Grab your drink, get comfy, and get ready for a chat with your new best friends.
Let's like this shit.
So the thing about books that I love so much is it can really be your portal to the next level. Like, I have learned so much about where I want to go in life, myself, business, sex positions, literally everything.
For real, though.
And like, I am a firm believer that success leaves clues. So like on the business side of things, like if there is someone that I admire in like this entrepreneur business space and they've written a book, you bet your bottom dollar I'm reading it.
Yep. And I mean, honestly, even if it's someone that you admire that's 12 steps ahead, in retrospect, like I still love reading that because you get to read the story of when they were in our space.
Yep.
And the amount of effort and time that we don't get to see. We see them as the billionaires. We see them as the multimillionaires. We don't see them crying on their couch, on an average Tuesday because it's not working.
Right.
And so that's one reason why I love reading. Especially about people that are where I want to be, even if it's not tomorrow.
Yep. Because the thing, like, people aren't sharing, even though those moments are probably still happening for those people to this day, the Tuesday cries on the couch. And like, we know this, we've confirmed this because we're in a mastermind with someone that we do look up to in business. And she even confirms that she still has those moments of like absolute debilitating anxiety or stress or whatever it may be. But people aren't talking about that on a daily basis. But normally in a book, when someone is talking about their path to success or their path to figuring it out, it wouldn't be an interesting book if there wasn't, a plot and a roller coaster that kept you intrigued. So there is always that sharing moment of like, hey, we've been where you are. We've been at the day one where we had no fucking idea what we were doing or how we were going to get where we wanted to go. We were just like one foot in front of the other trying to figure it out, and we stumbled and we fell, but eventually we got here. And like, here's the things we've learned. Like, there's just so much goodness in that.
Absolutely. I think even just as human beings and how we're raised with like fairy tales in our heads, like we are so used to seeing that story arc of someone that is hitting rock bottom and then they make it. Like through hell or high water, they figure it out. And those are my favorite stories, is to be like, wow, okay, I feel like I'm in the muck right now.
Yep.
But I will make it out. And it is going to be amazing. I just can't see it yet. I don't know how, whatever. And it is that put one step in front of the other and just go with full ass faith because it's going to work out.
Yep.
And we're just blessed to have that. We're just not in that stage. And also, then you would think about it, where people are looking at our story and our journey and going, oh my God, I want to be them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I thoroughly believe that no matter what level you're in, there's always a devil at that level.
Yeah.
And so we're always going to be crying on the couch on a Tuesday because we're going after something that's scary, or we're leveling up in some way, or we're confused and we're so full of fear, but we're going to do it with faith anyway.
Yep.
And I think there's a whole beauty behind that, and how even us a year ago would look at us today and be like, oh, we will get there. We just don't know how.
Hell yeah.
So,
how many times have you started crying while reading a business book or a personal development book, which is one that you wouldn't expect to, I mean, personal development, you can maybe expect to cry a little bit, but like specifically, I guess, reading other founders' stories. Cause I don't know about you, but I'm like, wow, you're a big baby, Brooke. I
all the time.
cheer up the whole time.
Yep. And it doesn't matter if it's written by a woman or
Mhm.
a man.
Mm-mm.
I just get so emotional of like, wow, they were in it and they did it. And this was hard. And I like put myself, like I put myself in their story and you feel what they feel. And that's also good writing. So yeah, shout out to those authors because that's amazing.
Yep.
But yeah, I like being able to feel their emotions and really go into that crazy meeting with them. Where you're like, oh my God, are they going to say yes or are they going to say no? Or
did they get the pitch?
Exactly. Or what, their mom used to talk to them like that as a kid and now they're here. There's so many things that I love, especially in professional development, no matter who they are, that you come out of it and you're like, wow, that was a roller coaster. Oh my gosh, well, would my book look like that? Like, would someone be crying at my book? So
yeah.
I love it.
One day we'll know. One day we'll know.
Okay, so duality questions for those of you who are big Find Your Fuse listeners. We do this in the beginning of every single episode. So, Brooke, question number 1. What is a book that truly changed your mindset or business trajectory? Just one. Pick one.
I was like, do I have to pick just one?
Yes.
Okay. There's really so many, if I'm being completely honest, but Rich as Fuck is what keeps coming to mind for me by Amanda Frances. And it's not, if I'm being completely honest, there are books that I've read that I have been more obsessed with. True. It was a good book. And it's one I'll mention later. I loved it. But the way she spoke about energetic minimums and the energetic minimums we actually have when it comes to the amount of money we can hold, because we're all energy, everything's energy. We're all, I'm woo-woo. So like I get behind all of this. And also it's a common denominator between most successful people. If you study them, like a lot of them are actually pretty woo and understand the power of energetics in your mindset and all that fun stuff. So just saying. But she talks about energetic minimums and how we all have them. And you might believe that you could have $3,000 in your bank account, but you could never have one. Or you might believe that you could be in the negative in your bank account, but you would never get that eviction notice. Like you might believe that you could have $20,000 in your bank account, but you could never have less. Like everyone has these different energetic minimums about what they believe for themselves that they are able to access. And the way she spoke about that was, I just have literally never forget it, because my husband and I for years, like in our early 20s, were always very much like, we have enough. Like that was our mantra. And we had enough. Like we always were able to pay that bill come hell or high water in some way, shape, or form. And we always had enough. But it was when I read that book that I realized, holy crap, even when we got the raise or we moved into the cheaper apartment or wherever it might be, we still only ever had enough. And it's because that's what we had like primed our energetic minimum to be versus, opening up space to having more than enough. And I don't think this was the part of the episode where I was supposed to dive into the pieces of the book, but there you go. That's why it stuck with me, because it truly opened my eyes.
That's okay. Honestly, I mean, we can even just kind of, I will add on to that and we'll just talk about that book for a minute, because it really is that good of a book. And I have the same thought of like, it wasn't oh my God, this is the best book I've ever written or read and I need to read it every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah, no.
There were certain sections that sit with me, and even just the thought of saying the words rich as fuck, when I started reading that book, I couldn't even say that out loud. And I think it was a huge moment of like, I can't be rich because that's, that has such a bad connotation. I can't be rich as fuck. That's wild.
Yeah.
Like what?
Who am I to do that? Who am I to want that?
Totally. And then you'll see her on the cover in like her cutie little like pink bathtub, right? Is that it? Yeah. She's so freaking cute. And I was like, I could never be that. And you get through like chapter 1 and she just like towers all your insecurities down.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, I can be, I will be, I am rich as fuck. And so that book for me, that was a good one. So I'm glad you brought that one up right away.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll mention it a little bit later again in the episode. So until then, what about you? What is the book that truly changed your mindset or business trajectory? Yeah, I knew that would be your answer.
Yeah,
Okay, Brene, we're not watching. Can you name the title?
Literally. All day. Believe It by Jamie Kern Lima. I reread it every year ever since it came out. And I'm pretty sure it came out in I literally have a bookmark in it right now because I started it not too long ago again. It came out in 2021. And I have read it every year since. And in 2021, baby Kelly was going through a divorce. Baby Kelly was working on wanting to move. She was in a really hard place. And this was a book that I cried every single chapter.
Yeah.
And it was not just because I'm madly obsessed with Jamie Kern Lima, because she is a total badass. But there were just moments where I was like, wow. She did nothing but eat frozen pizza for like a month with her husband, and they were about to lose where they were. And they were still finding joy in the journey, and they were still working really hard.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, I can live where I live. I can do what I'm doing, and I will come out. Like I'm going to come out. I just have to believe it. And that's literally the whole point of the book. And you're going to bury this with me. Okay.
Got you. Damn it, Kelly. I have that book in storage right now because I can't fit them all in my apartment, and I might have to go get it.
I love this book so fucking much. So anyway, Jamie Kern Lima, if you're listening, and if you're a longtime listener of the Find Your Feet,
Hey, we're manifesting that.
Totally. Really should change my life. And so, I love this book so much. And I would say, it changed my life in the current, like in the phase of physical life that I was in, but I was also building a business at the same time. So as it was changing my life, my mindset on everything changed, and that helped my business grow. So it wasn't just like, read this and be better in business. It was like, you're going to believe it. Damn it.
Yeah.
And it's going to work out for you. And anyway,
we book club that one together next.
Maybe.
You're inspiring me right now. I haven't read that one in a couple years, actually.
It makes me really happy. And then she's another one that's Worthy, which is so good.
Yeah, that one's good.
This OG one, I love so much. So,
okay. Mm-hmm. Let's duality dishes because, that's the whole purpose of this part of the pod. Mm-hmm. Has there been a time when a book was not the answer?
You know what? There have been multiple times in my life where I will start reading something and I will literally have to stop because I'm like almost too much in my own head about it, where I'm like, nope, I can't right now.
You're not ready for it.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with the book or the author or how it's written. It has everything to do with me. And I'll get to chapter 2 and I'm like, no. I'm just like sassy about it. I don't have like a specific book in mind, but that has happened to me multiple times where I'm like, nope, I need to journal about, like, I need to get some shit out. Like, we need to be in a better headspace before continually reading because I'm just kind of grumpy as I'm reading. And that's not fair. Like, that's not fair to the book. That's not the purpose of it. What about you? Has anything like that ever happened?
That has happened to me before. Specifically, there's a book that's coming up and it's a great book. It's called Untethered Soul. Beautiful book. But for me, I found myself, I would read it and I just kept taking forever to read a chapter, which isn't me. I'm actually a decently quick reader. And I also, yes, I'm the person that will reread a paragraph over and over to like really digest it, especially if it's a book that has a lot of science in it. Because I do read a lot of books that have, like, Dr. Joe Dispenza books, they always have like a lot of quantum physics and atoms and molecules, and science was not my subject. So like I will read things over and over to make sure I'm comprehending them right. But there's a difference between the times that I'm doing that because I'm so invested and I'm like, wait, no, I need to understand every piece of this sentence truly because I'm in it, versus reading the same paragraph over and over, but my mind is thinking something else. And I'm just like, I'm having to read this again because I couldn't tell you the last word that I just read. Always in those moments, there is a knowing in me that's like, I'm not ready for whatever this book needs to share with me. And like you said, it's nothing against the book. It's just like where I'm at right now. It's not what I need. So I have DNF'd books that I have full intentions of circling back to when they speak.
It just wasn't the time.
Yeah. But that leads into my answer to this question of like when a book wasn't the answer. It's really the 2-year period where I read nothing but self-help. And that was probably between the years of also 2020 to 2022. Yeah. Or even maybe late 2019 to 2020, mid 2022, something like that. I read literally nothing but business self-help autobiographies, things of those natures, because I was fiending. I was so obsessed with the idea of growing my business, and I was a newer entrepreneur, and I'm still obsessed with all of that, and I'm still obsessed with personal development. But after doing that for 2 years straight, it made me think that I was never good enough. Like that was a moment that I finally came to, and I was like, Brooke, you are almost too obsessed with this. Yep. And it's becoming unhealthy in its own way, because you're never letting yourself rest, have fun, or play, or read for fun. There's always a deeper motivation behind it. That is, but I need to make myself better. I'm not good enough yet. And yes, we always have things that we can work on. That's life. We're all, figuring it out day by day. And I'm not.
You can only say that so long either to like make yourself feel good, to be like, oh, I'm always, of course I'm always learning. And then you just feel like you have accomplished nothing.
Correct. And like, yeah. And it doesn't make you feel like, wow, I'm proud of how far I've come. I'm proud of this, because every time you finish that one self-development book that you feel really freaking good about, and then you pick up the next one, it kind of starts you at zero again. And you're like, shit, yeah, I still have to work on that. So there was a 2-year period where I read nothing but personal development and business. And that was not the answer. It wasn't until I want to say end of 2022 where I finally started reading fiction again. Mm-hmm. And I went, oh my God, I missed reading for fun. Uh-huh. And then I devoured a ridiculous amount of books in a very short amount of time. And I didn't read any personal development for a hot minute. Now we have found our balance of, like Kelly said, one smut, one business. Yeah. Sometimes I throw in a thriller.
See, yeah, I'm glad we're not talking about thrillers today, because that is a Brooke alone episode. But yeah, I remember that moment where you're like, I'm gonna put these away and I'm gonna read for fun for a little bit. And I remember talking to you and being like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now it is like part of my to-do list is to make sure Brooke always has something fun that she's reading. I don't care what it is, but as long as it's fun and lets your brain fly and be creative and do your own thing, amazing. Because we all get into those states. And I think that's a fair thing to say, is like, again, you're reading all these amazing biographies of people, they're, rags to riches story. And then you feel, after reading 10 of them in a row in a month, you realize, oh, I just haven't gotten there yet. Why is it not me yet? Yep. And that's a hard place to be. So,
and let's also say too, like, if you're just devouring books back to back to back to back, and you're not actually implementing and taking the time to live, experience, and immerse yourself into the steps they might be sharing with you, or the journal prompts they might be sharing with you, then are you really getting anything out of that book other than the emotions in the moment, the motivation that you may have from the moment, or whatever it might be? Like, are you really leaving a lasting impact on yourself from that book? Or are you just devouring content for the sake of devouring content? And is that feeling productive to you, when in reality, it's kind of like a fake productivity? Mm-hmm. Because if you're not implementing anything after it, you just read a book.
I was going to say, you just checked a box. You're like, those people that are amazing readers that just read like 30 books in a month. And then I'm incredible. Will never be me. I'm also just a slow reader in general, but there's so much that you can take away from a book, and it's kind of like going to a conference. If you don't take just like 5 minutes and like digest what just happened and all the aha moments and journal about it and love on it, like you said, then you just wrote some words, or you read some words on a page.
Yeah.
Period.
And one thing I can promise you, all of those autobiographies you're reading, or founder stories, or whatever it might be, all of those business owners got to where they are because they took the actions, and those actions were not just reading. I'm not saying they didn't all read, because that's another common denominator between most of these. Most of these are also podcast junkies, book obsessed, whether they do audio or physically read. They're all definitely consuming content from the people who are at where they want to go, but they also take that time to put things into action. It's not just like reading time every day and that's how I'm growing my business, because that's not going to grow your business. That's going to give you the motivation, the inspiration, the idea, the step 1, 2, 3 to start whatever.
Correct.
But it only works if you work.
Correct. Yeah.
Dang. And to the next. Okay, so the way we're going to structure the rest of this episode is we're kind of just going to like somewhat fast run through suggestions from a handful of different topics. So it's going to be money mindset books, self-help books, business books. LOL, we just talked about not reading just that. So then, of course, anything but fiction, or anything but nonfiction, fiction only. And so we'll ask each other a couple questions like about each book, but we kind of just really wanted to share our favorites. So really get a notebook and a pen or open your Goodreads, wherever you put your TBR, and add these to your list because these are the creme de la creme for us.
Yeah. All right, let's go. So let's start with Rich as Fuck, just because we've already touched on it a little bit.
Money Mindset is category 1.
What?
I said money mindset will be category 1.
Category 1, money mindset. Let's go. So jumping back to Rich as Fuck, obviously we already chatted about it a little bit. Tell me one oh shit moment.
The energetic minimums.
The entire book.
The energetic minimums, I'm telling y'all, I could talk about that one part for years. It just blew my mind because I realized how much I really was perpetuating the narrative of we always have enough. And I was like, I don't want that. I want to have more than I know what to do with. Period. And so like that was my takeaway from this book. And yes, like she had great journal prompts in here. So there were some action moments. But if I'm being completely honest, that is the piece of this book I remember. I would have to refresh my memory on the other things, even though I know there was a lot of other incredible things in there. But like for me, the awareness of energetic minimums and your words matter about how much you believe you can carry truly changed my life.
I love that.
How about you?
I would say, it's no news that I am not the best budgeter as a human being. I'm just not. And there were a lot of things that were like money mindset wise of things that I learned as a kid, through money that I'm like relearning as an adult. And one thing she said, because my dad's a CFO and so he spreadsheets his entire life to death. There was one moment in the book, and I don't know what chapter, I don't know where, but something along the lines of like, don't worry about all the spreadsheets, worry about making the universe your sugar daddy. Basically. So it's like switching. Yeah. So it's like, of course, you want to live in your money and you want to know and, know.
Important. Yeah.
Yeah. But don't be so like tied to that spreadsheet because then all that spreadsheet is what you are. Like you have to think bigger than that.
Yeah.
Like, make it more coming to you than that. And I just remember that was probably the biggest takeaway of the book for me is like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one that like doesn't really want to live in a spreadsheet. But also like, make the universe my bitch. So
fuck yes.
That's kind of what's up. Yeah.
I love this. I love this.
So that's probably my number one takeaway from that book.
What was another money mindset book that was, because I know we have a couple that we want to share. So what was another money mindset book for you that you were like, I love her.
I got a pocket full of money. So this book.
Happy Pocket Full of Money.
Happy Pocket Full of Money. And this book we read together in one of our book clubs, one might say. And so I think this one really, like, y'all, we would read a chapter and then we would take probably an hour and a half dissecting this chapter together.
Yeah. There's so many highlights we both have in these books that we would just like share.
And this one, I would say the biggest thing that I have about this book, there were so many because I really like this book, but still all around my apartment, I have written, I am joy, I am abundance, and I am wealth. And that is something that over and over and over again, he has written in this book. Like every other paragraph has that because it's reprogramming your subconscious mind that you are wealth, abundance, and joy. And I have it still plastered all over my apartment and I see it and I say it out loud every single day. And so that's one huge takeaway that I got from this book alone.
I love this.
What about you?
Honestly, same. And also for anyone listening, we keep saying book club. This is book club party of two.
Yeah, literally. We don't have anything crazy, but if you want to join a book club.
Correct. That's what I was going to say. Leave a comment. If we should start a book club of like monthly books to all read together and dissect, we could add that to our plate.
Bet. I mean, we're going to be reading
anyway. We're doing it anyway. And like for anyone else, especially if you're a business, have like a business partnership, or if you're a business owner with friends who also own their own businesses, you can just make this a fun, cutie little monthly thing y'all do together. And a chapter a week, 3 chapters a week, meet once a week, dissect, read the highlighted portions to each other. It caused so many incredible conversations for me and Kelly when it came to money. And it helped us understand each other better.
It was so good.
Good.
It was really good.
Yeah. So aside from that tangent, I would say I'm with you, but I won't copy yours. But like the I am wealth, I am abundance, I am joy was a big thing I took away from this book. But the piece that really resonated with me most, like I said, I'm a pretty woo-woo person, and I really do believe in the power of energetics. And he talked about them a lot in here. He talked a lot about, there's a lot of dense science in here. This is not just like a fluffy motivational read.
No, and there were multiple chapters that I had to reread multiple times because I had, similar to what you were saying earlier, I was like, I didn't get that. Hold on.
Yeah.
We're going back.
Correct.
But it was so good because it just talks about how money is ingrained in cells and like literally everything, basically. Like, it was amazing.
And so for me, there's a lot of studies that he references in here, which I really like, because my subconscious brain definitely really clings onto things more when there is backing to it. It's not just like, believe it. Not referencing that book, Believe It is a dope book, but it's not just like, take me at my word for it. There's a lot of science and like studies that you can go read in here, which is, I think, incredible, or that he references that you could then go find. But for me, he talks a lot about how abundance and your ability to hold money goes way beyond the money itself. It also taps into your feelings of happiness and your feelings of joy and your feelings of purpose. And I just really loved that because it made it seem somewhat easier for me. Instead of having to focus on the dollar in your bank account, it was also focusing on your feelings that surrounded everything else that allowed that dollar in that bank account to grow.
Correct.
I don't think I explained
Where's
that.
your joy?
Yeah.
And when you're joyful, money grows, right?
Correct.
Because it's just like a positive on top of a positive on top of a positive, which is, you're right. That was a really beautiful reminder in this book.
Highly recommend. Happy Pocket Full of Money, and David Cameron Gikandi is the author. We'll link everything in the show notes for anyone who want to go buy these.
For all of our readers. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So those are a couple of my favorite, your favorite money mindset. Do we want to move to?
Yes. It's okay.
Okay. Honestly, my favorite self-help are the Jamie Kern Lima ones.
I love those.
And so not to, really go too fangirly on it, but if you do not have a Believe It, I would highly recommend either getting it in audio, getting it in book form, taking notes, read it with your best friend, or read it alone. This was a book that I am actually glad I read it alone the first time because it was such a personal journey for me. And so I think from the first pages, like you hear about not only her business, you hear about her fertility journey, you hear about her growing up, you hear about those giant $1 billion stakes that she was working with. So you hear literally all of it, and you can really, like, I want to hug her. Like, as I was reading this book, I was like, I want to be your neighbor, just like Oprah, LOL, and hug you and like go on walks with you every morning with coffee. Like, because I feel like now Jamie and I are besties.
Yeah.
And that is such a beautiful way, A, as a writer to write a book, but B, just that is how you feel when you're done, is like, she's amazing, but also she's still a person. And she also went through all of this struggle while built this business, then sold it for $1 billion. Like, wild. Wild. So it was really cool to like humanize someone that usually you only saw in a headline. It was really cool. So that is, again, we'll die on the hill. We'll die with this book.
Yep. I feel it. For me, one of my favorite self-help books I ever read is actually not technically a self-help book, but stick with me here because I read it as one. And I wish I had it physically with me, but I actually lent it to someone. I never got it back, which is totally fine. I'm sharing the wealth, but I'll probably rebuy it. Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes.
Oh.
For anyone who's never read that, if you don't know who Shonda Rhimes is, she owns television, or owned television on Thursday nights. She is the writer for Scandal. She created How to Get Away with Murder. She created Grey's Anatomy. She created so many incredible shows that you probably watch or have watched. And
also quietly, right?
Yes.
Like,
and
she wasn't like on the red carpet being like, I did this. Am I amazing? Like, Shonda Rhimes is an icon for doing so many amazing things and also being okay and like modest about it.
Super introverted about it. And that is the purpose of this book. And that's why I read it as a self-help book, even though technically it's just her autobiography. Year of Yes was her year of yes. So basically, Shonda, she admits in the book, she was like, I didn't start writing because I wanted to be on red carpets. I didn't start writing because I wanted people to know who I was. I just really loved storytelling. As a kid, she would literally be in her mom's pantry, and she would be making this entire world out of the cans of peas and the cans of corns, and like the carrots couldn't talk to the corn, and like they had all of this drama, and she would just be creating stories with herself by herself as a little kid when everyone else was outside playing on their bikes with the neighbors and doing all the things. She was like, nope, I'm good in my pantry with my peas and corn. And she just loved it. And when her mom would be like, hey, Shonda, I need a vegetable for dinner, she would like execute the corn and be like, corn it is. And she was just making these stories. And I thought it was the cutest thing. And she talks about how she started writing because she loved writing. She loved storytelling. It wasn't for all their notoriety and fame, but as her shows began to really take off, for anyone who remembers when Scandal was coming out in real time, I cherish these memories. I was in college getting my public relations degree while Scandal was playing live. So naturally, the entire communications department on Thursday nights were like, go home, have wine, have popcorn, and watch Scandal. Like, that's what everyone is doing. So, like, this is just such a good memory for me. So reading about her was fascinating for me because I'm obsessed with her. But she would talk about how, like, when these shows were starting to do really well, she would get all these crazy opportunities awarded to her. But in reality, she is like, I have such bad social anxiety. I am not someone who wants to be in the spotlight. So her sister called her out and was like, Shonda, you're getting invited to all of these award shows. You're getting invited to give commencement speeches at all of these prestigious universities. You're getting invited all these incredible places, and you keep saying no. Like, you have built all of this for yourself and you're letting your life pass you by. Why? And she's like, I'm just scared. Like, I like to be home and just with my stories in my head and on my paper. So her year of yes was her way of challenging herself to get out of her comfort zone and to do new things. And she gave a commencement speech, I want to say at Dartmouth, but like, don't quote me on that. I'll link it in the show notes because every time I listen to it, I cry. It's so good. And because it's so real and so human. And that was one of the things that she mentions in the year of yes. That was during her year, one of the things she said yes to that she never would have said yes to before. And in the commencement speech, she talks about how all she wants to do on stage, and she's saying this out loud in front of the audience, is cry, shit, and throw up. She's like, I hate, this is not what I want to do, but I'm challenging myself to be here. And all of this to say, I read this as a self-help book because it was the best eye-opener to the places you want to go and the successes you want to see often have these opportunities that you either need to, move past to be able to get to the other side and, on and upwards and upwards, or you have all these opportunities coming in and why let them pass you by? And it's okay if things feel scary. That doesn't mean you have to say no. Say yes and feel scared. Like, fear can sit in the passenger seat with you, but you don't have to let it drive. And your life is going to be so much more fulfilling and fruitful if you just say yes and you just try. You never know what's on the other side of saying yes. And I just loved that book and I highly recommend it. And honestly, highly recommend Shonda Rhimes. She's someone that you should go listen to her speak, read her things and watch her shows. She's incredibly inspiring. She's a powerful woman.
I think one of my favorite things about this woman is hearing other people talk about this woman. Because again, she won't talk about herself. So
no.
Oprah will get on and talk about Shonda Rhimes like they're best friends. And you're like, who is this woman? Wait a second. And you like read all of her credentials and you're like, what? She's literally sitting in a closet while all these people are so obsessed with her because she's incredible.
She's dope.
And that is just that's something that I love about her just as a human being. I just love that. But speaking of, as a, new improv baddie over here. Yes and is it's basically the whole point of improv.
Yeah.
Is saying yes and moving forward. And so in classes and on stages, you see and you get to really be in that moment of like, you say yes and you move forward. Regardless if it's your story or not, regardless if you're funny or not, you say yes. And it's terrifying. Like there is no buts. It is yes. Of course I'm an asparagus in this moment. Absolutely I am.
That makes perfect sense.
Right? And you are a black cat. And they're like, yes, I am. I'm the coolest black cat ever. And that is so cool. And that is a very small piece of a yes and in the story of just life in general.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to plug some improv because it makes me very happy. So
I love that.
But it's a huge piece. It's like yes and so this book, I haven't read this book and I'm going to now. You should. And maybe I'll make my next year around the sun my year of yes, because that's pretty fun.
I mean, you're already doing it with improv, so why not just add it to other veins of life?
Other things.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Is there any other self-help, so we can each like recommend at least like 2 for the category? What other self-help book comes to mind that you're like, you got to read this?
Okay, so this one is a friend of mine actually in Seattle who wrote it. And he's a leadership coach, but it's all about, it's literally called Human First, Leader Second.
Right. I haven't read this.
It's really good. I can send you one. It's my friend Massimo Backus, and he's incredible. And what I love about this book is it literally highlights poor leadership, basically. Because once you get into a leadership role, you lose your sense of self, you lose your human aspect. And so to read a book about leadership, which always fascinates me, because again, I've been in many roles. So a view where leadership has, without a better term, sucked. And it's so refreshing hearing from a man that you need to be a human first and a leader second. And so just even in your life, this book was one of my favorites because he goes into it in different layers. So he goes into like acceptance. He goes into what you do next. And this is a good one, but I had to plug it. It's a local friend of mine. And it's, look. Ugh. He's such a lovely man. His wife is also incredible, and she does amazing women leadership things. So it's really fun to kind of like hear both of them either speak at the same time, or they do so many amazing things together. And so it's very like power couple-y, but also like the kindest people. Like if you just met them at the bar, you'd have no idea what they do. Those types of people. And so for me, as a leader, even in our organization, remembering to be a human first, leader second will always come up on top. And we get that feedback all the time from our intern. And I just, that is the best compliment that I have gotten as a business partner.
Same.
So far is just how great we are as a leader thus far. And that makes me so good. So
same.
It's a little bit more businessy, but to remember you're human is just so dang
important. Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
My second self-help book is honestly a basic one, and it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. You Are Badass by Jen Sincero. This is probably one of the first self-help books I've ever read. I think this was my gateway. This is my gateway drug.
That's it. And it makes total sense.
Honestly, the reason I think this one stands out to me so much probably is because it was one of the first ones I read, and it was one of my first introductions to self-help in this entire world in book form. I had listened to podcasts before that, but those were even still more manifestation, though you can argue that's all self-help too. And Jen just talks about her own journey. She talks about her own journey of being a broke writer and trying to figure out how to make her dreams work and her life work. And the whole point of this story is that you are a badass and you are incredible exactly where you are, and you have to believe in yourself to be able to get to where you want to go. So it's pushing up your own spirit and continuing forward even when things are fucking hard, and also learning how to take feedback and learn from other people who are more successful than you. Get the coach, read the book, listen to the podcast, whatever it may be. But you are a badass. And she also has You Are a Badass at Making Money, which I know money mindset portion of this episode was a little earlier, but that is a great book as well for money mindset. I really do enjoy anything from Jen Sincero. So
I thoroughly agree. I think that was probably one of my gateways too, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Because it's a gateway drug.
Yes. And then the second You're a Badass at Making Money came out about it. It was one of those like, absolutely. Yes, and that.
Go.
So yeah, that's a good one. Thank you for bringing that one up.
Yeah. Okay, business books. So for all of the fellow business owners out there, I know I have my two. What are your two recs? Or we can go back and forth for your business books.
You first.
Okay. Building a Brand Story. I know this is one we've both read. Building a Brand Story by Donald Miller. So good. It's truly incredible. And I think we're biased a little bit, or I am, as a designer, but brand strategist really is the portion of design I love. I love building brands and visual identities and helping create a brand in that way. And Building a Brand Story was a huge piece of my continuing education on what I do. And it goes back to storytelling and how you have to bring your customers through an entire story and an experience journey to really captivate them and convert them. So Building a Brand Story is fascinating, and it's also very simple the way he lays things out. And there's like worksheets and workbooks that goes with it. So Building a Brand Story is one of my favorite business books. If you are a business owner and you are building a brand, you have to read that book. And there's a second one now.
Yeah.
That I haven't read yet.
I'm only halfway through it. But this was mine because I saw that on your list was the first one. The first Build Your Brand Story was my like second job out of college, we read that as a marketing department.
Wow. Okay.
And so we had like our own little book club going, and it was a small social media team. And I'll never forget it because it was so wild because everyone had different backgrounds. So like someone had a background in communication, someone had a background in sales. I was the only one that had like a marketing background in our marketing team. And so it was really cool to have these conversations of like, what does that mean to you? Like, what is this story that you're leading people through? Me, I get crazy nerdy about it. And they came from it in different aspects, which is so freaking fun.
Yeah.
So that's a huge one. I'm already loving this one. Have not finished. But Donnie Miller, let me tell you.
So good.
It's so good. It is so good. I think like even this one, it literally says on the cover, over 1 million sold. So if you don't want to listen to us, listen to that.
Yeah.
Because they are really, really, really refreshing, and they are easy to digest, even if you're not a marketer or in this type of industry. And storytelling is not going away. That's the one thing that really anchors everyone together, that humanistic, emotional experience. So
yeah. And storytelling has been around for years. Like you can go back to literally hieroglyphics in the dawn of times. Like storytelling has always been a part of society and community. So there's one thing for sure and two things for certain. Storytelling is staying. So you may as well get behind it, learn how to do it, and learn how to bring your customers through a storytelling journey, whether you're a personal brand, a digital brand, a physical like commerce brand, a brick and mortar. It does not matter. Storytelling will get you to where you want to go.
Exactly.
Okay, what's your second book?
I wish I had it with me. Mine is also in storage, but it's Dare to Lead by Brene Brown.
That's a good one.
And I just, again, another beautiful, amazing human being that like God has blessed us with during our time on earth, because she's just so impactful. And I think one of my biggest takeaways from that book is actually kind of similar to Massimo's book that I had mentioned earlier, is like, you have to dare greatly. You have to be that good person. You have to lead by kindness and love to be that good leader. And I think hearing her story and how she describes it, even with like her sciencey background, and she's brilliant. I love hearing her speak because she brings up like straight facts plus science plus like the woo-woo kindness that really touches the rest of us. And she's an incredible storyteller. That one will probably have to be one of my top. And that was another gateway one. Like that was an early book that I read years ago. But again, bless that woman. She's so wonderful.
She's incredible. She is definitely another person to study their success and study how she moves through this world, because
it's different than the average human. And she's one of the many people that from like younger on, like when I was in college, made me realize the power of being a good professor, because that's like her job title, really. And so I remember being like, oh, she's doing all these amazing things, but is also a professor. Like I thought he was like academic professor, period. And so it was really cool to like see that she could also travel and teach people and love on people and write books and do all these extra things, plus still be a teacher, and like people can take classes with her. That's the coolest thing. I can't imagine it. Oh my God, I would just cry probably the whole time. I'm just like, wow. So anyway, Brene Brown, amazing. Obviously.
I adore that. That's a good one.
What's your second one?
Start with Why by Simon Sinek. I wish I had, that one's another one I have in storage.
I have that somewhere too.
I've read it like 3 times at this point. I've made my husband read it. It's so good. And it's nothing, it's everything profound and nothing profound all at the same time. It's so simple. It's your why. It is your purpose. And that sounds so easy to say in a sentence, but the reality is business can be really hard. And there's a lot of pivots and turns and bumps in the road that happen on the way to the success that you want to see. And having your why at the core, knowing why you're doing something, and that it has to be beyond just making money. Like truly, there's something deeper there. Why do you want to make that money? Right. Keep asking yourself why so many times until you get to that final, well, because I want to be able to feel and live a life of freedom and take care of my family and spend time with those that matter to me. Like get to your why, or I want to be able to make a difference and serve people in a way that allows them to have that free time and be with their family. Whatever your why is, find it, put it at the core of your business, put it at the core of your life, Post-it note it every freaking place in your apartment, in your home, and come back to that when things get tough. Come back to that when things are good. Because if you are rooted and you're anchored in that why and in that purpose, it will keep you going. If you don't have that, you will give up. That's in that purpose of the book.
Yeah. I actually love that you said it's everything and it's nothing all at the same time, because I think it is a very easy thing to forget when you're going through to-do lists and you're just putting one foot in front of the other to keep the lights on, to, you know, make an impact, no matter how big or small. And remembering that why is that grounding piece. You know, it's keeping that one foot on the ground at all times while the rest of you is moving forward. Yeah, that is I've read that book also multiple times because it is so profound, but also found in nothing at all, you know?
Yep.
I love that you said that.
Simon in general is a great author. So he has other books. Leaders Eat Last is another really good one that I have not read yet, but my husband's read, and he talks very highly of it.
Yeah, there's a book that was recommended to me recently. I literally have it on a sticky note on my desk because I haven't read it yet. And I think it's called Make Your Bed. And we'll put that in the show notes too. But it's written by a colonel, I believe, like in the military. Okay. And he talks about
discipline.
Like as a leader, like if you wake up and you make your bed the first thing in the morning, everything else is going to be okay. Because you're subconsciously doing the first thing in the morning that is checking off a box that makes you feel good and happy and clean and joyful. And then everything else is going to be okay. And multiple people, including my own dad, has recommended that one to me. And so I need to read that again. Very long list of to-dos and to-reads. My
TBR is long.
I was going to say it's quite long. But it's literally on my desk because I look at it every day because I, if anything, have that reminder without even reading it. So, anyway, that's next on my list, I think.
I adore. Okay, I'm going to have to read that one too. Maybe we save that as a book club one.
Amazing.
That TBR list is getting long.
It really is.
Start a real TBR book club list, though. That could be fun.
You definitely should.
And again, guys, if you're listening and you're like, wait, I want to do this, comment below or wherever below is for a podcast. DM Kelly, DM me, DM Find Your Fuse. Let us know because it could be fun.
Yeah. And we're not even lying. Like, it's not like we have this like set up and like are going to randomly launch a book club.
No, we're really not. So
we're really not.
Tell us and we could have it set up.
Yep.
Something chill.
Yeah, okay. we will do that. Okay, so any last professional development, business books before we move into anything fun?
There is one I actually will toss in because I forgot to mention it earlier under the money mindset category. But if anyone has never read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker, I highly recommend. I threw away the book sleeve. Sorry. I'm not a book sleeve girl. I know that could be a heated debate. Do y'all keep your book sleeves or do you not keep them?
I definitely keep them.
I don't like a book sleeve.
I take it off when I'm reading it because it annoys me, but I need it on the book because it's like the art that they chose for it's like such
I feel kind of bad about it. I used to keep them in a cabinet for years.
I mean, if you're not going to have them on the book, I would get rid of them too, you know?
Exactly. Anywho, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. It's just fascinating. Harv Eker just talks about the way people who carry a lot of money in this world think differently. And that's like literally the purpose of this book. It is a very quick read. I'm actually going to start, me and Alec are going to reread this together on Sundays. We're going to do like money book days together. And I'm really excited.
I love that.
We'll circle back and tell you what I get out of it now. That's the last thing I'll say too on just like reading self-development, self-help, all of those fun things. When you reread certain books, I actually find that it solidifies a certain path and pattern and like way to do things in you versus you reading 30 books and like getting a million different ideas, if that makes sense. And you get different things out of it every time. Every single time. Like I will read through a book and have my things I originally highlighted and then read it a second time and highlight new things. I think it's also fun to go back and just read your highlighted sections if you ever just need to like really quick refresh yourself. So anyhow, that's that. Amazing. Yeah. We can move into the fun stuff. Okay, so as we were saying earlier in the episode, if you read only self-help and business, it can be too much. And we highly recommend reading anything but nonfiction sometimes. So we're going to dive into some of our favorites. Any genre is on the table, but Kelly and I definitely have a shared one that we read a lot of. Do you want to go first? Are we going to hold up the same book first, probably?
Yeah.
Let's just 3, 2, 1 it. 3, 2, 1. How awkward would it have been if it wasn't the same book?
Oh my God.
Okay.
You mean our signed copy?
Hey. Thanks, Kel. Kelly grabbed these for us at a bookstore in Seattle. I love you.
I love you too. So if you're not watching us,
Yeah.
completely fangirl over this. This is Pucking Around, which is one of the Jacksonville Rays hockey series by Emily Rath. And
So
to
good.
say we're obsessed with this woman is an understatement. Like, we're obsessed with Shonda Rhimes. We are obsessed with Brene Brown. We are obsessed with Emily Rath.
Also, Dr. Emily Rath, Professor Emily Rath, she is also a professor and an educator and just like a brilliant woman. So like as just like a woman and a baddie and a person achieving her dreams, she's super dope and she's super smart and she's incredible to follow on social media. So I do recommend, but as an author, we're thoroughly obsessed. And these books are not small, forewarning. But I have to say these books are averaging around 700 pages, 500 pages, 500. And she does a good job. So smut and like romance books, I find often can be really redundant and cheesy and kind of more about the sex than the plot. And I don't like that. I love a good scene, but I like a good plot. Like I need to also believe in the story that I'm reading. And often I find when they're super long, they continue to be redundant and repetitive. I don't find that for Emily.
No.
She does a good job keeping you in it the entire time, all 600 pages.
Yeah. And I'm usually the one that's like, oh my God, they haven't kissed yet. And I'm only 50 pages in and I get annoyed.
Correct.
I'm like, just kiss already. Like, we know it's going to happen.
The next book is going to, she announced that the next book, it's like 200 pages of yearning. So.
Which is coming out so soon.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Not like a shameless plug for Emily, but like.
Sure, why not?
Start reading her books because you're going to want to be in it with us when we read the next one that's coming out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love her. This was totally Brooke. Why did we start reading these?
We started reading this because this is one of the early books that I found in my anything but nonfiction reading that began in end of 2022. I started actually with, and this will be another one of my recommendations, anything by Lucy Score. She's another author in the romance world that I actually really, really love. By a Thread is a really good one by her. There's a handful, but anything by her, I love. So I was on TikTok and scrolling, and someone told, and I had, at this point, I want to say that I had only read romance novels that were pretty traditional. So like a him and a her, and just two people in the couple. And like with romance novels, also for anyone listening, like before you read, like this will be your warning, like there is explicit scenes in these books. I feel like that's obvious at this point. We've said smut so many times, but explicit scenes in this book, and it's a little more open. There are couples of every different type, which I adore. But I, at this point, with Lucy Score, I had only read more traditional, straightforward romance novels. And on TikTok, I was scrolling and someone recommended this super cutie book called Pucking Around. She was like, oh my God, it's cute. The team doctor falls in love with one of the players. And I was like, oh my God, a forbidden romance. I love that. So I start reading it. And with romance, it's very common for like chapters, like the perspective you're reading in. So you'll read a chapter by him, and then you'll read a chapter by her. And like they're telling the story from their POVs, and it keeps switching POVs. And normally, there's obviously a lot of characters in these books. It's not just those two people, but if they get a POV, they are part of the couple that you're reading about. Everyone else in the story is just a side character. They don't get their own POV. So normally you can figure out pretty quickly, like, oh, you know, Jake and Rachel are going to be the two people that are in the couple for this book. I didn't read any of the, like someone said one time on socials, Pucking Around's a good book. It's about a team doctor and a player. And I went, great. And I downloaded it and I started reading it without looking into anything else. And so I started reading it, and I read her chapter, and then I read his chapter, and then I read another his chapter with someone else. And I was like, interesting. Normally, if you get a POV, that means you're part of the couple. And I was like, oh. Okay. I mean, hey, love is love. We're huge allies over here. Love is love. Down, open. I'm gonna read about it. Sure. I just wasn't expecting it. And then you keep reading a little more, and there's another his chapter, like his perspective. So now we're down to 3 hises and 1 hers. And I was like, oh,
we were like, wait a second. What
is happening? And that is how we entered into reading Polly Why Choose books.
For real though. And
Kelly, you have to read her.
Yeah, well, she called me and was like, I think I'm going to start watching hockey. I was like, what?
Yeah.
We don't do sports ball or sports puck. It's not really what we do here.
No, for anyone, like I am from South Louisiana, for anyone listening, and so like football is like the huge sport of the South for sure. Huge football fans in the fam, and I don't care about sports. I mean, like I love that. I think they're fun. Like I think going to a sporting event is a good time. I've never been to a tailgate I didn't like, but I am not a sports person. So when I texted Kelly and was like, I think I want to try watching a hockey game. It sounds kind of fun. She was like, I have so many questions.
It's like, what happened last night? Like, I talk to you every day. Like, what do you mean? Where did this come from? And also, zero shame. Like, I am from Wisconsin, huge Packers fan.
Yeah.
But I live in Seattle now, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a Kraken fan. Like, that's what we do here.
Correct.
And so I was like, okay, let's talk about hockey, I guess. And then she was like, well, see, there's this book. And I was like, well, there it is.
There it is. Okay, and for anyone listening, there is talk of real hockey in this book. It is not all...
No, really. Like, in the beginning of the book, it talks about, it goes through every player and, like, what their position is. And then also, like, this is a hockey term. This is what you need to know. Because they don't, like, explain it while they're talking about it. You just need to pretend you're into hockey.
And so this book was also my gateway into actually getting into hockey. I genuinely, my husband and I are huge hockey fans. Like, go Dallas Stars, even though we don't live in Dallas anymore. We will always be Stars fans because they were the team that, like, we first saw. But also, like, now we're in New York, so obviously go Rangers. Duh. But we're huge hockey fans now from this book. And you know what's really funny? I'll share this story here. When we told my in-laws were really big into sports, for sure. My father-in-law especially. And so when we told my in-laws that we were going to try watching a hockey game, Alec like texted in our family group chat and was like, guess what story Groot, that Alec calls me Groot sometimes, and there's another funny story behind that. But guess what sport Groot wants to watch? And his whole family was like, Brooke wants to watch a sport? Like, because it's a known thing. We are not into sports here. And nor is Alec. Like, we're both not sports people. And he was like, hockey. And they were like, how the hell did y'all randomly get into hockey living in Dallas at the time? So it's not like we were even in New York at that time. And of course I lied because I was not about to put in the family group chat that it was from a very spicy book. I said, my friend Kelly just moved to Seattle and she's a Kraken fan.
Yep, legitimately just threw me under the bus. Like, all of a sudden, sure, we've just changed our entire personality to hockey. Right.
I have since admitted to my mother-in-law that I read this book, and this is actually what got me into it.
So if she's listening.
If she's listening, love you.
But also, I do love the Kraken, and I've been to multiple games, and it is actually amazing.
It's a fun story.
But I am going to say, like, I didn't move here and was like,
hockey,
go Kraken, and then all of a sudden now I'm like, go Kraken, let's go, you know.
Correct.
So
anything Emily Rath, that is a big recommendation for us.
And yeah, exactly, like, it completely changed my whole outlook, even just on sex, and like,
yes,
really, seeing it differently, and I every second of it.
My husband's a huge fan of the romance reads.
I'm sure he is.
He supports this habit, so you know it's fine,
which is good, which is great.
What is your other anything but nonfiction rec?
Okay, right now I'm in the middle of 2 series. Okay, and I'm gonna recommend them both.
Okay.
So
for anyone who doesn't know, Kelly can read 30 books at the same time, and it's fascinating to me.
I've literally already said that I'm in the middle of 2 other books already. It's just kind of how my brain works. I think it's like a very weird form of ADD, and if you know what it's called, let me know. Maybe I
can read up to 3 at the same time, but they have to be different genres. They cannot cross mingle.
Yeah, so I'm reading 2 smut, very different novels right now, and 2 business books.
Okay.
Again, very different. And we just ordered 2 more.
Yeah.
That we will talk about.
Yeah, we can end this episode with what we're reading right now. That could be fun.
Yeah. So, long story short, I am on Iron Flame in the 4th Wing series.
Yep.
And thoroughly obsessed with it. Again, another big one. And shout out to my friend Jen, who's physically borrowing these books from me, because otherwise I would have just got them on Kindle. But it is, I love smelling a book. It's, it's a whole thing. And so I, again, am obsessed with this book for many reasons, but like, it hits that like nerdy Harry Potter part in me that I love. But like, look how pretty. Like, if you're watching, like,
artwork is stunning.
Yeah, so it just kind of goes through like this mystical, beautiful land, and then also there's so much drama, and it's really great. So any other 4th Wing readers, again, I also realize that I am years behind reading this than most people. So It's 2025 and we started the series and I am now hooked and I will let you know when I finish it. So that is currently reading. The second book that I'm currently reading in this smut genre is the second book in the Windy City series by Liz. I'm the worst.
Pop it in the show notes.
Yes, Liz something, who is amazing. And it's kind of similar to the Pucking Around moment, but they're different sports characters that are involved.
Oh.
So, so like the first one is, it got me. My best friend Kate was reading it and she was like, you have to read this. And it's about a flight attendant that falls for, like, she's on a private hockey team's.
Was this Mile High Club?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mile High is the
read
first
that
one.
still.
No, Mile High Club. Mile High.
They become part of the Mile High Club.
It's very true. It's very, very true. But I am on the second one right now, which is about a basketball player.
Okay.
And they're all connected. Like, they all, like, know each other, whatever. And so, again, highly recommend. But different from Emily Rath is, like, it's just that couple. Like, it is deep. They are long stories. The storytelling is amazing. And it is just two. And so it's really beautiful. But Emily Rath, you're like, oh my God, there's so much love everywhere.
It's literally the best thing ever. And it's so cool to see, like, their relationships with each other are also different within their relationship.
Totally. So
good.
Anyway, those are the ones that I'm currently reading and loving.
Love that.
Yeah, that's just how my brain works. So
okay. I love that. My current read right now is a not so meet cute by Megan Quinn. I actually just finished it like 2 nights ago, so I need to start the second one of the series. So cute, and it's literally about a fake fiance situation. Like, these two main characters, she runs into him on the sidewalk, and he's looking for a fake fiance to get him out of a hole he dug himself in, and she's looking for a rich husband. Jokingly, she got let go from a job, and she, like, made the joke to the universe, like, I'm gonna go walk through this bougie neighborhood and find myself a rich husband, and then, like, a not so meet cute. And obviously enemies to lovers in some capacity as well. Like, they hate each other. It's good. So I just finished reading that one, and I'll start the second one of the series. But another book I'll leave you with for anything but nonfiction is, I'm going to go into thriller for a second. So if you want to close your eyes, Kelly, you can. Never Lie by Frida McFadden has to be one of my favorite thriller books I've ever read. It was so good. And anything Frida, I would actually recommend in general if you're a thriller reader. Her plot twists are like no other, in my opinion. I rarely actually get them right, and I am pretty good at calling it. For her, you will call something and you'll be so sure of it, and it is the farthest thing from that. That is the actual plot twist.
the therapy one you were telling me about?
Yes. So Never Lie is about this therapist who, I don't even want to give anything away, but it's about this therapist who would record her sessions with people who went through pretty intense traumas. And this couple is looking at this therapist's house because she disappeared. So the house is now on the market. And this couple is now looking at this house because they are newlyweds and they are so excited because they're going to have a baby. And I think they're going to have a baby. I hope I remember that detail right. And they want a place to live out of the city because they are in New York City right now, and they want something a little more suburban. And they end up finding the therapist's tapes. Yes. And they're listening to these old sessions. So the POVs and the chapters switch from the present day couple who is looking at this house, her POV and his POV, and then you go back to the therapist POV from like way back when, and then you have chapters that are focused on that actual recording that you're like listening to. Sounds complicated. It's really not. It is so freaking good. So anything Frida McFadden, but Never Lie specifically, is one I recommend you start with.
Which I love. And the main reason why Brooke's like, Kelly, close your ears, is because I am a huge fan of horror, thriller movies, shows, the things I can physically see.
So funny. I can't.
Yes, we're the exact opposite. So you can read things like that, or you can listen to like true crime podcasts.
I cannot. I watch cult documentaries, not true crime podcasts. They're different. They are different. Vote in the comments. They're different.
But those are things that I cannot, like, if I can't do anything real, like real, I can't watch it. I remember as a kid, there's a book, I was probably in 6th or 7th grade, The Most Dangerous Game. And it is a book. Have you read it?
No.
Okay.
But it sounds familiar.
You probably have. It's a book where, again, I might be butchering this years ago, but this is what's in my head. There was a very rich man, and he has like a dinner party at his house. And all of a sudden he like tells everyone basically start running, and he starts hunting them. And that is like
fucking terrifying.
The most dangerous game. And I remember having to read it in school, and then we had to analyze it and whatever. And that was the moment that I realized I can't read these things, I think, because I have such an overactive imagination.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't deal with it. But like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of my favorite movies. So like I can watch that.
See?
Yeah. I don't know how, again, it's a certain sort of ADD in my head, but I can't listen to true crime. I cannot watch things that are true. And I can't read that. Like I just can't. I'm in it. Like I would not sleep.
Yeah.
Like I would probably read the book from the start to the end, because there's no way I'm just going to be like on a cliffhanger about someone who may or may not be dying or getting chased by someone.
Yeah.
And then good night.
Sweet dreams. Yeah. I do have to be cautious about what I read right before to bed, because I do have an overactive imagination. But for me, I'm the complete opposite of you. I also have an overactive imagination, so I cannot watch scary movies. I was a freshman in college when I realized scaring myself for fun wasn't actually fun, and this only sucked. And I haven't really watched a scary movie since, and you would have to like drug me and tie me down to make me watch that. I hate it.
Which again is its own scary movie. So.
Correct. So please don't do that. But like I literally cannot. Like I remember I don't even like watching trailers for horror movies. Like there was a horror movie that came out. I couldn't even tell you the title. Don't care. I don't want to know. There was a horror movie that came out probably 10 years ago. And there's like a scene in the trailer where the girl like divides the clothes in the closet, and there's like this terrifying face. And then there's in this same trailer, she's like laying in bed and like rolls over, and it's no longer her partner. It's this like demon. I still think about that like once a week. It terrifies me to my core. When I turn over at night and look at my husband, I literally do it with my eyes closed, because I'm like, just in case he was a demon now. Absolutely not. I wish I was joking. I cannot watch horror movies, but reading thrillers. Now, there's a difference between reading thrillers and like reading like actual horror. I don't read horror. Reading thrillers I can do. And when it comes to watching and listening, zero true crime for me. Zero true crime podcasts. I wish. Because I'm actually fascinated, but I can't do it.
You can watch like true documentaries.
But about cults. There's not as much murder in those. I can't do murder. I also don't like the things that happen in cults, but like, I don't know. That doesn't scare me the same way as like, I can't do things that have like possession or demons or murder. I don't even like watching Supernatural. And it's a good show. And I'm actually kind of sad about it. But like, I remember there was an episode of Supernatural that had like the Bloody Mary scene. Still think about it. I can't do it.
Like episode like 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get far.
Yeah, and I'm like a crazy spiritual religious person. I love Supernatural, but that's, totally different. So anyway, this tangent was fun.
Yeah. Anywho, for everyone listening,
let us know.
Yeah.
If you're on one of our sides.
Yeah. For everything. And let us know what you're reading right now. This episode was definitely supposed to be a fun 20-30 minute fast action, giving you some books to read, but we're now over an hour in, so we're gonna shut up now and wrap it up.
The 2 books that Brooke and I are starting like the next couple weeks. Again, The Big Leap, this will be the second time me reading it, and it is a really good book.
We're reading it with our team.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And just kind of changing our mindset for The Big Leap. So that's number 1 that we're reading. And then number 2, because again, Brooke and I can't just do one thing at a time. This was recommended in our mastermind, Profit First. And so it's a different money mindset way to think about things. And I'm excited to read this one. So it was highly, highly recommended. So Brooke and I will be reading that one, plus The Big Leap, plus she's got her own smut, plus I got my own smut. Plus I have, 3 other books that are started.
You give me so much stress with the amount of books you read at one time. Because lovingly, we're going to have to read The Big Leap first and then Profit First.
I know. I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm aware. I know. I cannot. No, that's fine. We can do one at a time.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy. But anyway, so those are the 2 that are coming up in the docket. Again, let us know if you've read any of these, if you love them, if you hate them. We want to know what else you would recommend us to read. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're big readers over here, and we love books. Period.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Love you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode.
Please take some time, follow us on @FindYourFuse or email us at info@findyourfuse.com for all inquiries and all exciting things that you want to chat with us about. We love building this community and we love you. Take some time and leave a review. Anything above 5 stars,
we'd love it. But really, we appreciate you and we appreciate your feedback in any form, because the more feedback we can get, the better we'll get.
Okay, love you. Bye.